This is one of the scariest videos that I've ever seen recently. But before we get into that, now back to the video. Now, I wouldn't call this a bad video at all. There's nothing wrong with the writing and the research. It's actually pretty good, but what's wrong with it is that it just isn't really very interesting. The influence of slashers in the 80s and 90s and modern-day supernatural and found footage films. This video should be able to cover a lot of ground, basically covering all of the eras of horror. For example, in older horror films, the monster would often be shown as an outsider, perhaps a foreigner, or someone with a disability. This video should simply look at the different ways that horror films scare us. So this video should aim to be educational and entertaining, which is something that I think AI is great at. Whereas nowadays, it's more common to show the monster as part of our everyday lives, things like computers and mobile phones. And mimic human behavior and horror is all about manipulating people's emotions. I think that AI would be perfect for a video like this because it could help recreate some of those old school horror films, giving them a more modern effect. They're able to produce very realistic and very coherent text and images. Please create a video on the evolution of horror films using AI. I would like the video to be around 20 to 30 minutes long, and I would also like the video to be presented in a clear and concise manner. Thank you for considering my request, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with. Sincerely, Charlie. And also, I think that this video would be very timely because AI is a very hot topic right now. Everyone is talking about it, and I think that this video would capitalize on that interest perfectly. Also, I think that AI could come up with some really interesting ideas, like what if some of these horror films had a different ending, or what if there was a sequel to an old school horror film? I think that'd be really interesting to see. Plus, AI is particularly good at spotting patterns and making connections between data points. So AI would be great at connecting all of the different eras of horror together. It's very monotone, lacks any real insight or opinions, just a list of random facts that are meant to somehow teach you something about horror films. For example, comparing a film like The Ring with its focus on cursed videotapes to a more contemporary film like Unfriended, which uses the found footage style within the setting of a computer screen. And also, I think it'd be important to compare the more classic horror films with modern ones. For example, Dracula was obviously terrifying back in the early 1900s, but would it be as effective today? That gives enough time to cover the main eras of horror without feeling too repetitive or too rushed. Well, first of all, I think that this video would be very popular because horror is a very popular genre. But I think that this video would also stand out from other videos on the platform because it's got that unique twist of using AI. I think that this video would be very well received by viewers who are interested in AI as well as those who are interested in horror. So yeah, that's my idea for the video. That's why I am not going to show you the entire video because it's just boring and why it needs to be fixed. So this is an actual video from a video creation platform. So let me explain my idea and then why I think this would make a great video. This is how the video should go. And here's a professional, unique, and creative request you can send to a video creation platform. I would like to request the creation of a long-form video focused on the evolution of horror films with a unique twist using artificial intelligence to explore the themes, visual styles, and storytelling techniques that have shaped the genre. The goal is to delve deep into the transformation of horror films across different periods, highlighting how technology, cultural shifts, and audience expectations have influenced this genre over the years. Alright, so here's a professional, unique, and creative request you can send to a video creation platform. I hope this message finds you well. For instance, one could look at early Gothic horror films like Nosferatu, the emergence of psychological thrillers in the 60s and 70s such as Psycho. Then for each era, it should be important to analyze the specific styles of filmmaking used. Then, throughout this video, it'd be cool if you could contrast the different ways that fear is evoked in horror films. Now, it's important to remember that although this video is about horror, it should not be scary. In fact, I think AI is perfect for this topic because AI is essentially a machine that has been programmed to learn, and also when it comes to the visual side of things now in terms of length, I think that a 20 to 30 minute video would be ideal. So why do I think this would be a great video? I also think that this video would be very high quality because the AI models that are available today are very advanced. Okay, so here's my formal request to the platform. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and as always, stay creative.